question. Today's session, what we are going to learn. In today's session, now I'll be covering the data profiling. So as part of Power Query Editor, so we are going to take a look at the Power Query Editor. We'll start work with the Power Query Editor because we have already seen how to connect to different source systems like CSV files and JSON files, and then Excel files also. And then we have seen how to load the Excel data into SQL Server also. And also we have seen how to work with PBIDS, Power BI datasets. Okay, as part of live connection topic, I have covered the Power BI datasets. Okay, and then SQL Server. In SQL Server, we have discussed about the import and direct connectivity mode. Plus, we have seen the different types of storage mode. All right. So these are the topics that we have covered so far. And today's session, what we will do is we will work with the Power Query Editor. Okay. So data transformation part. How do we clean the data? Okay. Data is available in different source system. First of all, how do I load the data from different file system? We have seen it, and then we did some kind of basic data transformation. So now it is time for us to work with the Power Query Editor, because if you take either a data analytics project or if you take any data science project, majority of the time we spend in performing data cleaning, data transformation. 55 to 60% of the time, 50 to 55% of the time, we'll be spending time in cleaning the data, extracting the data, and refreshing the data from source to target and all. Okay. Okay. As part of any data transformation, the first step, what we do is, right, we load the data. And then the second step is cleaning the data. Okay. But before cleaning the data, explore the data. Explore the data. Okay. Take a look at the data. Okay. Are there any issues with the data or any wrong data type assigned to the columns? Okay. And any format related issues. Okay. All these things, right? And then any duplicate records. So you need to, to explore the data. Only when you explore the data, you will get to know that. So what we do is we do something called data profiling. Okay, as part of data profiling, what we do is we'll take each and every column, we will look at it. The data profiling option that is available in Power Query Editor. So with the data profiling option, we have some column distribution, column quality, column profiling. Okay, so by doing so, the data profiling, we will get to know, in case of any error in our data, and how much percentage of error we have in our data set. Or also in case of any duplicate records, we can address it. Okay, how many duplicate records, how many unique values are there, how many distinct values are there. Okay, we will get to know that. Okay, in case of any data consistency related issues, then we will get to know with the help of the data profile. What do you mean by data inconsistency? For example, you have a column called the country column, or the city column. But your business, let's say your business operate across 2,000 different locations. Okay, or different let's say you have 2,000 plus retail chains are there. Or 2,000 plus retail chains are there across US and India. So each location, people should follow the same naming convention, or same, the same standard they need to follow it in terms of entering the value in your city column. But again, they don't enter it in the table. They don't have access to the table. So in the front end application, they enter the city name. For example, the case of New Jersey. Okay, and let's say you have some New York. So in which city customer purchased which items, all the things. Some, some cases, let's say in the same retail shop, different billing people are there, right? So some people, they type New York, and some people, they type NY. Okay, and some people, they say, New York. Okay. But when it comes to the system, right, if you take any software, it will consider these three values as a different thing, right, altogether. But according to us, yes, these three records, these three values are belong to New York. But how will the system know whether this record is related to New York City? This is related to, even this one related to New York. Even this one is related to New York, because you have used the different standard, coding standard or naming standard. Naming standard. Okay. So at the end of the day, what will happen is when you look at your data, you will, though you have done, even though the New York, the sale is very good, but in the chart, it will show the sales is not that good. It will downplay the performance. The reason is that some, transactions got, loaded here. Some transaction got mapped with this one. Some transaction will got mapped with this naming convention, with this name. Right. So anyhow, see, it is the organizations today. What they do is they need to mandate something called data governance. What they do is, as part of that, they come up with a common, naming standard. So all the users across the globe, they are supposed to use this naming convention. Okay. If it is a New York, don't put NY, don't put like this. You need to put like this. They will document everything. They will circulate it to all the staffs across the retail chains. Okay. But the data profiling will help us to identify these kind of inconsistencies. We are dealing with millions of millions. There's still, even though they circulate everything, right, there could be chances still some people they may not follow. Or if you wanted to make sure that everybody is following the same standard defined as part of the data governance team. Okay, using data profiling, when you do the data profiling, you will get to know the gist of, the gist of how good the data is all about. Do we have any inconsistency? Do we have any duplicate records? Do we have any missing values? Do we have any error in the given data set? That is what we can, we will get to know that when you do the data profiling. Okay, so to start with this, we will, understand how we can perform data profiling, what options are available in Power Query Editor. And then next we'll jump into how we can perform or shaping the data using the query editor. Because when you look at we don't look at the data in a single dimension, right? We want to look at the data in different dimensions. We want to sometimes rotate the data. By rotating the data, or if you want to if you convert your columns into rows, rows into columns, sometimes, right, you will give different views. That one will give you the different views, and with that different views, you can get different insights. Sometimes, though the volume of the record is more, end of the day, when you do some kind of pivoting, or what will happen is the report will be very compact. Sometimes the lengthy report, if you have to see, right, more number of records, if you go, or if you scroll down and see, right, it will be painful thing. Sometimes when you reshape your data in such a way that, with that reshaped data, if you can view it in a very compact manner, that will save your time. First of all, before we jump in there, what exactly Power Query Editor? Using Power Query Editor, we can do the data transformation, right? So it is a kind of a mashup engine. They call it as a mashup engine, the Power Query. So what I can do with Power Query Editor, you can extract data also. Using Power Query also, you can extract the data from different data sources. And then what you can do is you can transform the data in the required format or in the required form. So using Power Query Editor, right? So you can read data from these kind of source systems and even all the file systems, right? All type of files, you can read it. And you can even connect to Facebook as source and many other applications, okay? Now we will understand what exactly data profiling is all about. So you all know how to connect to the Power Query Editor. I just start the Power BI desktop. Let's go to the get data, and let me load. I have something like expenses.xls file. I just select this sheet. Here, yeah, this is enough. I just load it. Takes time to load it. Yeah. See, you can do it parallelly, Sanoj. It will take longer time. What I would suggest, right? You can watch my videos and you do it. Okay. If you do it, what will happen? See, today almost 7 people, they did not, since the beginning, the remaining people, they did not. If many people, they join. And forget about many people. If you do it, if you get stuck with small issues, right? It will take longer time to. So you can watch it and then you can do it, right? So we will dedicate one sessions for the hands-on part. That time you can do it on your own. Okay, assignment session. Okay. And here, anyhow, I'm not covering the complex topic, very simple one only. Okay, and sales by customer.csv. First of all, you need to download all the data files. You need to connect to my website, download all the data set. So what I would say proactively, you keep all the data download in your local system and keep it ready. Okay. By the time when I start, if you do it right, so it will take time. See, it's not that we are intentionally postponing. Suddenly something else comes up, right? Then it's a problem. What we will do is we'll start with very simple one, right? Already we have loaded. I just explain here what the data profiling is all about. So for this, what I will do is I will be using the sales by customer data set. Very less number of data is there. So here this is a text data. So as you can see that next to the column, you have ABC. Other thing is, right, when I explain it and if you do it in parallel, you will not be able to understand the concept what I explain it, right? You will get distracted. And this one is the units sold. Okay, and this is the decimal value. Sorry, this is not a decimal value, it's a whole number, right? This is your Boolean value. This is a date data type, but still it is in the text data type. Okay, so let us start with this column, customer's name. And if I go to the view, here you can find the column quality, column distribution, column profile. Okay, and here what I do is I just click on the column quality. Okay, if I unselect this one, what is happening? When I select this, what is happening? You know, in the first row, you can see something like valid. Actually, this is not a first row. Just above the first row, it display 3 values. How many number of valid record? How much percentage of valid records are there? How much percent of error is there? How much number of empty records are there? Okay. So in this column, if you take a look at it here, so we don't have any empty record, but it shows 11%. Why I said we don't have any empty record? That you just park in your mind. I'll show you a little later. Okay, when I select this column, see, you don't have to select it. If you see it here itself, you can see it, right? So empty is there. So if you look at the empty, so here empty is nothing but the null values. So if you look at the data set for this, okay, these 3 rows, you will find null values. Okay, so that one, it computes that in terms of percentage. It displayed that one. So out of the total number of 9 records, 33% of them were having null values. The rest of them are non-null values. And similarly, if you do it here also we can see that 33% and 56%. Look here, more nulls are there. Nulls are nothing but blank values. In your Excel sheet, if you have blank values, Power BI, while it reads the data, especially Power Query, right, it will replace the blank values by null. Okay, that is what it shows. No, 0 is not counted as null value. Sanoj, 0 is different. Okay, 0 is not considered as a null value because look here 0 is there, right? You see here we have 0 here. Okay, so it is not considered a null value. If you have a blank value, nothing is there, including 0. Even 0 is not there. Blank value, that is called as a null value. So in that kind of situation, Power BI will replace the blank values by null. Okay, 1 second, he is calling. Yeah, I sent the new link, no? Oh, you're outside. Okay, fine, fine. You watch my video, no? I will share the playlist today. Don't worry. Bye. Okay, and here, right, so that is what we can see it here. So when you select this one, for example, I'm going to what I do is I'm going to select on column profile. The moment when I select the column profile, it shows some statistics for this column. Since this column got selected, it shows the statistics about this column. Along with that, it shows something like a value distribution. Okay, what I will do is I'll just clear. See here, the value distribution. You can see that. So all these customers' names are there. So in the customer's name, I put some numeric value also intentionally, some Boolean value also. But still, end of the day, it is considered, all the values are considered as a text data type. So that's what we can see. ABC is nothing but text data type. But 1, 2, 3 is whole number. And this one, cross and tick, this is your Boolean data type. Okay, fine. So in this column, so the count is 9. How many number of values are there? If you scroll down here, 9 values are there. Is that correct? Do we have 9 values here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. It shows the total number of values in this column is 9. Okay, and error is 0. Here we don't see any error, correct? Empty is 0. Is that correct? It shows empty equal to 0. Is that correct? Renuka, is that correct? Empty is 0. Is that correct? Or Sanoj?
No, sir, there are null values. So it should count the null values.
Yeah, it should have considered as a null value like here, right? So if you don't have any, can you see something like blank here? Nothing. But when you open the file, you will find blank here. It replaces the blank by null in the case of numeric values, even in the case of Boolean values. But in the case of text data type, it did not assign any null value because remember this, in the case of text data type, right? It will consider as an empty string. This is your empty string. It was also a value. Empty string is also value. Okay. Hence, suppose all the 9 records have values in it. The count is 9 and empty is 0. That's the reason why it says 0, because this is not considered as an empty when it comes to text data type. Remember this. Okay. It is considered empty string. Look here, empty string is 1. Good that he gave me additional statistics to substantiate my statement. The empty string is 1. This considers a string, hence it shows 1. And unique is 6, and then min or maximum minimum. We don't say this is a text data type. Here we cannot find out minimum. Maximum is true. So here if you see the alphabet, right? So the T is the last one, right? So RST. Anything after T, we don't have anything, right? That is the one. Minimum, nothing is there. Okay. And then okay, so this one you need to remember. If you have any blank value in the text column, you don't think it is a null value. It is an empty string. Okay. So, and this distribution, it tells us how many number of time which customer name occurs more time. If you see here, Larry, it appears only one time. Rake only one time. Chris only one time. But when you look at the Baron, one and two times is 3 times his name appears. So here and here and here, right? 3 times it appears. His name appears 3 times. Okay, hence it shows the taller rectangle for Baron. The rest of them are appearing only one time. Hence it shows all four of their rectangle size are same. But whereas here the Baron appears multiple time. Count, frequency count, how many number of occurrences of each values are there. That is what the validation. Just by looking at this visual, we can quickly make out the Baron, the customer Baron name occurs multiple time, more than one time. Okay, and the unit sold, we have something called unit sold. This is the numeric column. If I select this column, it gives me statistics about this column. So here we can see the count 9. Yeah, before that, here, so you need. Let's look at what is distinct and unique. Okay, what is distinct? What is unique here? Distinct is also kind of unique value, isn't it? Then why did they give two different terms? They put a distinct separately and they have something else called unique. So in the case of distinct, irrespective of the fact that if any value repeats more than one time, still it considers that value, but it will not consider the number of times or number of occurrences of that value. Okay. For example, Larry, how many number of time it appears? Only one time. Okay, one. Look here. I just see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, and empty string also considers 6. And then it considers Baron also. Though Baron occurs multiple times, but it will take into account of Baron only one time. For example, Sanoj Kumar, right? He purchased multiple time in my shop. That doesn't mean I have multiple different Sanoj Kumars are there. All the Sanoj Kumars, all the names are representing one person only. You just think that analogy, okay? So the same thing, even though Baron appears multiple times, it considers, Baron as a single person, okay? And then Larry. So if you add all these things, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is what we can see it here, 7. Okay, somehow you understood what is unique, distinct. What is unique? Unique, it shows 6. Can someone make a guess? What does this value 6 tell? Unique value. What does it tell us? What is the difference between unique and distinct? As the name says, unique, right? It takes into account of only the unique value. It excludes Baron because the Baron's name occurs more than one time. Duplicates. Any duplicates, it simply ignores it. Okay, the rest of the values, rest of them are, look here, how many errors are there? 3, 6, 7, but exclude Baron, 6. So what is the difference between these two? The case of unique, in case of in case, right? Unique is count one time of no. Unique is not taking into account of Baron. It simply ignores that. Sanoj, you understood, right? So in case of any duplicate records are there, you simply ignore it. Display only non-duplicate records. How many number of non-duplicate values are there? How many number of non-duplicate values are there? Larry and true, 22, 3, 4, 5, the empty string, 6. Non-duplicated values. Okay. So how many duplicate values are there? 1, 2, and we have Baron 3 times, right? Yeah, and the first record Baron. Okay, now let me just show you here. Look here, Baron. 1, 2, 3 times. Since Baron is not a unique value because it duplicates, simply it ignores that. Whereas in the case of distinct also ignores the duplicate records, duplicate values, but at least it takes one value out of the duplicate values. Okay. So that is what the difference between distinct and unique. And the empty string is 1. That is what you can understand from. The rest of them are, same, the count. But here it is a numeric value. And if you see here, in this case, numeric value, in case of any null values are right, it considers that as a duplicate value. So empty string, empty value. It's not a string, it's an empty value. See, empty is 3, it says 3 here. In the case of unique, and the number of values are 9 here. 1 second. If you see here, I just how many nulls are 1, 2, 3, right? That's why it shows 3 empty records are there. Look here, I'm talking about this one. Empty is 3, and distinct is 6. So 10 is distinct takes into account of the duplicated values, but it takes only one value. Okay, so 10 is occurring more than one time, but still considers only one value. 2, 3, and null is a duplicated, but it considers only one time. And then 6 and 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So distinct is 6 now. What is unique? It will simply ignore all the duplicate. What is the duplicate? 10, it will ignore it. And then null set, it ignores that. We are left with 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 values. 4 records are there, unique values. NEN 0. What is NEN? Not a number. In case of any not a number values are there, it will say 0. What is an example for a not a number? Can someone tell me? What is not a number? 0 divided by anything. What is that? Or anything divided by 0. What is that? 0 divided by anything. What is that? Or anything divided by 0. What is that? Sanoj Kumar, infinity, right? Very good. Infinity. So in case of any infinity kind of situation, right, it will assign error. So here we don't see any not a number. 0 is 1. How many zeros are there here? Only one time it is there. 0 is 1. Minimum is 0. Look here, we have minimum here, right? The minimum is 0. And the maximum, in this case, the number of, maximum value. That's all, 15. That's all. The same thing is applicable for other columns. I just show you for the Boolean values also. Here, same thing. If you see here, null, how many number of times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nulls are there. So which is nothing but the empty records are 5. Empty values are 5. Distinct values are 3. Duplicated values. So here, true is appearing one time, false is appearing, though it appears more than one time, it considers the false is only one time. Okay, 1, 2, null is 3. So the distinct is 3 and unique is 1. What is unique? True is duplicated, null is duplicated, false was not duplicated, hence the unique value is only 1 here. Okay, and then true is 3, and then it gives you how many number of truths are there, how many false is there, it gives you, okay, that kind of thing. You can see it here. So that is pretty much it. Okay, even for the same thing, you can do it for the dates also. In this case, since okay, let me just go here. Empty is 0. Okay, even in this case, the empty is 0 because the null is also considered an empty string here. Okay, that's the reason why it says 0 here. But empty string also it shows 0 here. Okay, empty is 0 because we don't have any, null is not considered as a empty value in the case of text. You remember that, okay? And then we have empty string is also not there, right? 0. So if you have any blank value, this is called your empty string. Okay, it considers null also a value here. Okay, hence we don't see any empty value. We don't see any empty string. And then what is the minimum value? What is the maximum? It goes by literally the text value. Maximum is null. Okay. So here, using which we can understand how many distinct values are there, how many unique values are there. So with that, like I said, right, so for example, instead of customer's name, here you have the city name, okay? So here you have new space, York, New York, take that example which I explained you, and n.y. Okay, so when you look at, say, you know very well how many number of states you do. So oddly, let's you are doing your business in only 6 states, but if it shows the distinct value, I just do one thing. I'll select something called column distribution. The column distribution, when I select, display the distinct values and unique values. So here itself. So here also I can see it, here also I can see it. With this, I can understand quickly 7 distinct and 6 unique value. So 7 distinct, that means there will be some kind of duplicate value. But unique tells me, okay, total, non-duplicate values are 6. But in total, we have 9 values are there. Out of which 7 distinct values are there. Okay. So there might be some blank values. Yes, the empty is the, 1, but yeah. So in this case, let's say if it's a region column, if the let's say you sell you operate your business across only 5 cities or 6 cities. Okay, so the distinct value is supposed to show 6 because you are operating a business only the 6 cities. If it shows something like 10 or 12, then something wrong. Then there could be chances that it might have inconsistent values in it. See, you might be wondering, right? One simple common sense, you will be asking, Satya, why should I do data profiling? With this statistics, what am I going to do? Simple thing, like I said, you are doing your business in 7 different cities. Okay, good. But unique shows 6. That means, some city, values are occurring more than once. With this itself, we can make up. Supposing when you look at this, actually you are doing your business in only 7 cities, but here it shows 10 or 11 cities. Then what you will do, you can take a deep dive. Oh, something wrong in this column. So we are doing our business only in 6 cities, and we are damn sure why it shows 12 cities, 12 here. Then something wrong. Okay. It will help you to pinpoint, or find out what problem you have, but still to pinpoint, what caused more number of values in the distinct than expected. So in that case, what you will do is you will take a look at it, look at your data and see, did we use different naming standard to define the city? Some people New York, some people new N.Y. and some people they typed it as a new space York. Right? Only when you take a look at the data in detail, you will get to know that. But this one will give you a quick idea. Man, I just do the business only in 7 cities, but it shows 11 cities. How come? Okay. With that, you can understand something wrong here in the data. Okay. So armed with this insight, you go and fix it. Okay. So new space York, if you find something, right, then you tell them, hey, new space York is fine. Everyone, all the New York city names should be defined or typed like this, new space York. It should not be like no space, New York, and it should not be like N.Y. We don't want that. From the data governance point of view, this is helpful. Which one? The distinct. Okay. The unique will tell you, okay, in case of this column is a primary key column, right? So you can see how many number of unique values are there. If you have duplicates, that will, this status will help you to remove it then and there. Because this is not a, the RDBMS table. Supposing you load the data in from Excel file. Right. So if it is a database, you can define the unique key, but in the Excel file, how you can define the unique key, right? You cannot do that. So in that kind of situation, this is helpful. Statistics will be helpful. And then column distribution. Okay. So one more thing is, we have discussed about column setting and value distribution. And, the percentage of valid and percentage of error and percentage of empty also we have seen it. And then if you keep the cursor somewhere here on top of this chart or somewhere here, just next to that, if you see, if you keep you will find another thing here. The customer's name, 77% are distinct and 66% are unique. But if you wanted to know them in values, 6 unique, so that's what we have seen, 7, 6, right? That is the thing it shows. And if you want to remove the duplicates, you can click on these 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots. And here you will find copy, duplicates, keep errors. Like if you want to remove the duplicates, you can click on it. If you want to remove it, supposing you have any error, if you want to remove that, you just go here and say you can do it. Okay. Remove errors, remove duplicates, and then replace errors. In case of any error is there, what we do is, right, you replace the error by 0. Okay. Or use some standard number 99999. So most of the customers, when we worked with, right, they use this standard. In case of any errored values are there, you can flag them with 4 nines, 9999. So that later point in time, when you query this table, and if you filter it based on the value 999, right? So it'll show you, why these records we don't have values in it. Okay, hope you got a fair amount of idea about data profiling. Okay. Okay, the next one is